Hey guys, and welcome to a new video. Today I want to show you my current magic finding project for burial chambers in 3.8 Blight League. So if you want to know how I shape my atlas, it looks like that. And if you're unsure on what to do with this information, I uploaded a video like 2 days ago explaining how I did that kind of atlas strategy. So onto the build. What is this build? It's a cast while channeling, like Cyclone cast while channeling, Magma Orb with a Sire of Shards. This is a build that a lot of people recommended me to try out even back last league. And yeah, this is the time where I'm actually trying it out as a magic finder here in burial chambers, because it clears quite nicely, I have to say. Okay, it's a little bit of a fancy build here. So one thing I want to make sure is it's epilepsy warning here. Okay, this is actually eye cancer. So if you want to really farm this build a lot of hours, you're gonna make sure that you're wearing some sunglasses. And no, I'm not joking. I was farming a couple of hours today with this build, and I actually used 2 pairs of sunglasses just to make sure that my eye stays healthy with it. Why? Because that's the reason. And it starts to become very, very flashy in the map, and it's a lot of projectiles, a lot of bouncing and flashing is going on. So yeah, let's take a look on how I play this build. Basically, let's say here are some mobs, here are some mobs. You have to cyclone over here, then go down here, you know. And with this build, you just straight line through the map, and the bouncing balls, the magma orb, will take care of everything that's left and right and behind and in front of you. So a good thing here to notice is the Gloomfang amulet will make the damage quite insane as the more the projectiles chain. So let's take a look at the map here. Just a burial chamber. I just ult and go. As long as it's not an LE reflect, we should be fine. So let's just yeah, jump straight into the action and see how this build performs in an actual burial chamber map, and hopefully we get some doctor drops. So what I do is pop my flasks and just cyclone through, right? This is all you gotta do. And yeah, the bouncing ball will usually take care of everything that is left. Oh hey, sustaining left and right of your screen, which is pretty cool. We already killed like almost 200 mobs here. Now we cracked the 200. Yeah, it's quite nice to play. A really nice clearing skill here. And just make sure when you're going to this middle passage that you are not losing, god damn it, English, come on, losing your rampage stacks. So rampage stacks will always also give you movement speed, right? And this is something you actually want to have here. So 429, is there some more mobs? Perfect, we got it. And if you're having some like, let's say, rat beast or a legion stone or anything like that, we do have a Vile Righteous Fire to boost our damage even higher. Looks like that, pretty cool, right? And yeah, this will help you clearing even hard or tanky mobs here, okay? So I usually skip map bosses in this map, and I also skip the blight mechanic because I hate this thing and it just drops shit, okay? We have like almost 700 mobs killed. The map is cleared by this point, but we're still gonna do it. The way I play blighted maps with this build is I just fast forward, right? Then I just stay here, I take my phone and I just... Oh, wait. There we go. Okay, and this is how I play this build in Blight mechanics, right? I also played a blighted map like this, but there were bosses with proximity shields, and that actually, yeah, destroyed all the fun because they were just running into the pump. So why do I not do blight mechanic in the map itself? Because it usually takes as long as I need for clearing a map, and I'm killing off maybe 200 mobs here. Means in a blighted map, or at least like in normal burial chamber, I would kill more mobs, and this would be more efficient here. So, I think there is one mob here. Is this red dot moving? I'm not sure. Wait, what? I don't think it's moving at all here. Okay, here we go. So let's check out this insane loot. Nothing. A blast orb. Nothing. And some splinters. Okay. Well worth the time, dude, every time, dude. The best mechanic ever. So, let's talk about the build and how everything is working. And don't be like wondering now, cause yes, I do not really use a lot of skill gems here, because I don't think it's necessary at all, right? I have here my killing thing, then I have my cast when take a setup, and I have my auras, and I don't think I need anything else. Yes, I could use a portal setup or a cast on death portal, like just for being safe, you know, maybe a flame dash, faster casting, arcane surge, or whatever shit, you know, but I don't really think that I need it. So I could probably just get in a lot of enlightened gems here to level it up, to Val it later on, but or anything like that. So this is how it works. So we're just gonna, I tried to explain it as easy as possible. First of all, we're gonna take out our threshold jewels, and no, this build is actually not expensive. I bought this 6-linked staff for 3 exalts. The Magma Orb enchant on the helmet was 2 exalts, and that's about it. The Queen is not linked, and the rest is just magic finding items. The Gloomfang, I think, is like 3 chaos at the moment, so yeah, it's not really expensive at all compared to other magic finders that I have played. So how does this look like? Magma Orb on level 21 here, chains 3 times. That means it throws it and then it chains 3 times. So let's take a look. Oh wait, this is not Magma Orb. 1, 2, 3. Wait. Yeah, three times here, right? Yeah, 3 times. So it throws this and then chain 1, 2, 3. So it bounces actually 4 times now. Yeah, exactly. Perfect. So we can make this even better with actually adding more and more chains. So the question is, why adding chains? 1 additional chain means it travels 1 time 1 chain further, which helps our clearing, since the more chains, the more it will spread off screen, okay? The next, or the more important thing, is the Gloomfang Amulet. And this one says projectiles gain 20% of non-chaos damage as extra chaos damage per chain. That means the more chains we have, let's say we have 10 chains, we're getting 200% non-chaos as extra chaos. So the last projectile, the last chain, before it disappears, will do the most damage, right? And this is why the off-screening clear potential, God, these words here, is the most insane here, right? So to add projectiles, or at least to add, chains in general, is the inevitability, which is the threshold jewel for Magma Orb, which says increased area of effect and gets an additional projectile here, right? So if we're gonna use that one on the top side here on the shadow starting area, and also here on the witch part here, we're now having 3 projectiles, and this is still not, God, I'm used to having my skill on E, right? So we're now having 3 projectiles, right? So more projectiles, more chains is what we want. The Sire of Shards, which is a nice staff that says adds 4 additional projectiles and socketed gems fire projectiles in a nova. That means it not will just throw in front of me, it will now be a circle with actually adding 4 more projectiles. So if I socket in now this one over here, you're gonna see that we're gonna have a lot more. Take out the cast while channeling here. Will be a lot more projectiles here, right? And then we are having the Devotus with additional chains here, right? So we're gonna add this one here on top of that, and then we're gonna end up having 8 chains, which is 160% increased damage for non-chaos as extra damage coming from the Gloomfang. And we're also having 7 projectiles in a Nova, which is insane. So from this skill setup, we have Cyclone, chain support, cast while channeling, elemental focus, fire pan, and the Magma Orb itself. So if you check the PoE wiki about Magma Orb, it cannot chain more than 3 times, even if it's level 100, okay? So 3 is the maximum that you actually get, I think, on level 22. Wait a second, let me pull this one up. Magma Orb PoE. This is one of the most hard-hitting spells in the game, especially with Gloomfang. So let's take a look. Chains up to 2 times until level 20. And that's why I picked up a level 21, which gives me 1 more chain coming here, as I said. And so it chains 8 times, and this is quite a lot. So if you're using slower projectiles, you can actually see how often it chains. I think even with slow projectiles, it will still bounce off the edge of the screen. Okay, what else do I use? Let's start from the top to the bottom. We're using a Devotus for more movement speed, and with the enchant, Magma Orb chains 2 additional times. With cast 1 damage taken level 1, then Immortal Call level 3, increased duration, and the Val Righteous Fire to boost our spell damage, cause Magma Orb is still a spell, and it scales off spell damage. In my staff, I have Cyclone, chain support, cast while channeling, ally focus, fire pan, and Magma Orb, as I said before. On my chest, I've just Grace, Precision, and Herald of Ash. Why do I use Grace and not like Cell Tree for spell damage, or even Anger for the fire damage to attacks and spells? It's because I'm evasion stacking for the Queen of the Forest. Queen of the Forest says 1% increased movement speed per 600 evasion rating up to 75%. That means that it's a total of, if we're gonna use the calculators, 600 times 75 is 45,000 is the cap of the Queen of the Forest. And with my current setup, I'm having 39,000 plus when I get frenzy charges, I get more evasion per frenzy charge. And I'm getting up to like 48,000, means I'm capped on the Queen of the Forest as well. The rest of the gear, Ventur's Gamble for resistance and quantity. Then I have a Sadima's Touch Gloves with increased quantity, max roll, and +1 frenzy charge since I'm playing it as a raider. You can also play this character as a Deadeye, which might actually be faster. You have an additional chain, you have an additional projectile, and you have tailwind. I still want to try out raider since of the rework where they buffed the numeric numbers here. So just gonna see something different here. Other than that, Biscos Leash, something typical for magic finding, which adds 5% quantity, some cold resistance, and you get rampage out of that. And for my boots, I'm having the gold worm boots with 20% quantity, but still this build is not the top of the top magic finder. Reason for that is I'm currently running, where is it, 49% quantity, which is super low. Okay, first of all, my Ventur's Gamble are garbage, right? I just like spamming a couple of divines, not really investing too much to it. I just bought the cheapest 2 Ventur's Gamble on the market, a couple of divines, and then just try out my luck. And as long as I have like pretty good resistance, I'm actually fine with that one, okay? So I have here, I'm missing a lot of quantity on the rings. Then we're not using a quantity amulet just because I want to use the Gloomfang for the additional damage that it's doing. So that's why I'm lacking of the quantity, and I cannot use a shield as well because I'm wielding a two-handed staff. So as I said, it's a fun build if you add some quantity here for Burial Chambers, but in terms of magic find, there is other builds that can have a lot more magic find. Still, I think it's way more important to have a build that is fun to play rather than the min-max quantity farmer at all, because if you really want to, if your intention is, I want to farm a Headhunter in Burial Chambers, you're probably gonna farm 3,000 maps. And if you farm 3,000 maps, you better make sure that you have a build that you enjoy playing rather than, yeah, I hate this build, I still play it now 2 weeks because I would need a Headhunter, okay? And in the end, it's just luck depending, right? I know people that found like 5 Doctor cards in 1,000 maps. That was me last league. And I know other people that found 1 Doctor card in 2,500 maps. That was my friend last league. So it's still RNG if you get it, if you not get it. You just make sure, or gotta make sure that you're having fun in what you're doing. So let's take a look at the flask. A life flask, bleed immunity, then a serious promise for Fizz, or at least Alias extra chaos and some leech, as well as the Gloomfang. Then a jade flask of reflexes to add additional evasion rating for the queen. Then a dying sun, which is super nice, increased area of effect and 2 additional projectiles, and a quicksilver flask to move even faster. This is all I can say about the build. It's not nothing special. It's just a magic finder, you know. Ventur's Gamble, Gold Worm. It's just like generic. Queen of the Forest movement speed. So the only thing that's new here, compared to others magic finders, is the staff and how we use Cyclone cast while channeling, and the Gloomfang amulet. The rest here is just, you saw that 100 times on any kind of other magic finding build as well. So let's take a look at the skill tree itself, about the jewels here and how I build it. So I'm basically just going evasion, then here life node, projectile nodes, frenzy charges, obviously here's some more movement speed, going down here taking the projectile nodes because magma orb is still a projectile. It also has the projectile tag here. So it scales with ally damage, crit multi for spells, yeah, everything that is like fire related, projectile, so it has a lot of stuff to scale off. And here as well, like the frenzy charge, since we're a raider. Then for the jewels, I have here multiplier for fire skills, then multiplier global, and projectile damage pretty much. I have this like, I think like 2 times here somewhere. Where's my next jewel slot? Here, I think. Here I have projectile damage, double multi, just to choose up the damage a little bit here. Okay, so next thing, just life nodes, phase acrobatics to have a more layer of defense, currently level 84, so not dying too much. Then more frenzy charges, then we have the 2 inevitability jewel. This is the threshold jewel. I got 1 with cursed with silence and 1 with the cannot be the corrupted blood version. The thing is, why did I add the cannot be cursed with silence? This is something I found out today, which is kind of funny. So Cyclone, if you're silenced, right, you can still use Cyclone because it's an attack and not a spell, right? The thing is, I got silenced, I was cycloning, but the magma orb wasn't appearing. So if you're silenced, the cast while channeling spell, even though you cannot cast it directly, you cannot, it doesn't proc from cast while channeling. So I had to adapt this non-cursed jewel at the end here, right before I started recording this video, because I was never running into silence mob, but once I did, and I was like, hey, where's my magma orbs? Am I lagging or something, right? But it actually, when you're silenced, you're not proccing your cast while channeling spell. So yeah, this is why I added this one on top of that, so I'm safe here. Then here, more spell crit multiplier, and if I would progress this build now with higher leveling, I would actually get the blast radius, also the annihilation, here the life and all resistance, and then I would probably maybe go up here to the fire nodes, or yeah, I don't think, like, let's say we're adding like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 levels, which is 92, so 6, 8, yeah. 92. I don't think you get any higher on burial chambers than 92, because it's a tier 4 map, so I don't think it's more worth talking about bigger predictions here. For the anointment, I took the very cheap one, Serpent Stance, which is 40% global critical strike chance and multiplier wielding a staff, what we are doing since the staff. If you want to invest a little bit more, there is one somewhere here, I think Counterweight was it, which adds just more global critical strike chance and multiplier than this one is doing. But still, this one's like the cheapest version, and this is kinda of a budget build at the moment to farm a currency in burial chambers without any fancy thing like Headhunt or anything like that. And yeah, it's just, I'm having a good time playing this build at all. Alright, so what one we talk about more here? Pantheons. I did actually forgot to use Pantheons. So, Lunaris sounds fun, and maybe Grudcool. Perfect. Then for the passives, we have 0 from Deal with the Bandits, means I helped Alira for the additional crit multiplier and the all resistance. And if we take a look at the cosmetics, we have the Transcendent Helm, Body Armor, Gloves and Boots with the Celestial Footprints and the new Void Emperor character effect. Then the Dark Prison Weapon, which gets transformed to a stave when you're using one of those, with the Lich Weapon effect. Then we have the Monolith Aura effect, Celestial Aura effect, Sun Prison Herald effect, Celestial Cyclone effect, then the Acid Magma Orb, Dark Immortal Call, and the Celestial Righteous Fire. If you're interested in how the other ones looks like, this is the blue version of it, which is actually even more eye cancer, to be honest. I just think the Acid one looks the best. And the most boring one is actually the normal one without MTX. This is just like, yeah, it looks boring as fuck. Okay, so I think with the Sun Prison Herald of Ash effect plus the Acid here, looks just enjoyable here. All the fancy explosions like toxic bombs and stuff. I just love this build. It's just super fun, super fast, and I'm hopefully gonna get up some currency in burial chambers so we can try out more fancy builds. Path of building link is in the description below as always. And yeah guys, thanks for tuning in, thanks for watching, and see you on the next video.